How can someone go an entire month without food, without water, without coffee, without snacks, without even the smallest sip during the day, and still function normally? Still go to school, still work, still live their life? Is that even possible? Is it healthy? Is it safe? Or is it just extreme? And why would millions of people all around the world choose to do this every single year, knowing exactly how hard it will be? These are the questions many people ask when they hear about Ramadan, especially those who have never experienced it themselves and only see it from the outside. And these questions are understandable, because from the outside, Ramadan looks shocking, almost impossible, like something that does not fit into the modern world. No food and no water from sunrise to sunset for almost 30 days sounds like torture to some, unnecessary to others, and even dangerous to many. But Ramadan is one of the most misunderstood practices in the world. And once you truly understand what it is about, your entire perspective changes. Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic lunar calendar, and for Muslims, it is a sacred time, a reset, a pause from normal life, focused on fasting, prayer, discipline, and reflection. But the most important thing to understand is that Ramadan is not about food. Food is only the visible part, the surface, while the real meaning lies much deeper. Muslims fast because fasting trains self-control in a way almost nothing else can. Because when comfort is removed, awareness increases. Hunger and thirst make you hyper-aware of your body, your thoughts, your habits, and your behavior. You suddenly realize how often you eat, not because you are hungry, but because you are bored, stressed, or emotional. You realize how often you complain about small things and how much you usually take for granted. Ramadan slows life down, and in that slowing down, you begin to notice things you normally ignore. In a world where everything is available instantly, where food, entertainment, and pleasure are only one click away, Ramadan introduces something rare and powerful: restraint. You don't eat when you want, you don't drink when you want, you don't satisfy every impulse immediately. Instead, you pause, you wait, you choose patience, and that choice builds mental strength. Because discipline is not about punishment, it is about freedom from being controlled by desire. Many people assume that fasting for a month must be unhealthy, but that assumption usually comes from misunderstanding how Ramadan actually works. Because Ramadan fasting is structured. Muslims eat before sunrise and after sunset. They are encouraged to eat balanced meals, drink enough water during the night, and listen to their bodies. And interestingly, modern science shows that structured fasting, often called intermittent fasting, can improve metabolism, mental clarity, focus, and self-discipline when done responsibly. So Ramadan is not about damaging the body. It is about respecting it and learning to live with it instead of constantly overwhelming it. But Ramadan goes far beyond physical health. It is deeply mental and spiritual, because during this month, Muslims are encouraged to work on their character, not just their hunger. They try to avoid anger, gossip, lying, arrogance, and harmful behavior. And suddenly, you realize that not eating is actually the easy part. The hard part is controlling your words when you are tired, controlling your emotions when you are hungry, and choosing kindness when it would be easier to react negatively. And Ramadan teaches that real strength is not physical strength. It is emotional and mental strength. Because if you can control hunger, you can control reactions. And if you can control desire, you can control behavior. Another essential part of Ramadan is prayer, especially the night prayer called Taraweeh, which takes place after breaking the fast, when mosques fill with people standing side by side, young and old, rich and poor, from all backgrounds, with no status and no titles, just humans. And in a world that often feels divided and individualistic, That sense of unity creates a powerful feeling of belonging and shared purpose. Ramadan also builds discipline in everyday life, because waking up before sunrise, planning meals, balancing sleep, school, work, and energy levels requires structure and commitment. And that commitment builds resilience. Many Muslims say that during Ramadan they feel calmer, more focused, more present, and less controlled by habits and distractions, even though they are eating less. A common misconception is that people are forced to fast, but that is simply not true. Children do not fast. Sick people do not fast. Travelers are exempt. Pregnant and breastfeeding women are exempt, because health always comes first in Islam. Ramadan is not about punishment or suffering. It is about intention and choice. One of the most beautiful aspects of Ramadan is generosity, because during this month, charity increases massively. Muslims are encouraged to give more, help more, and care more. And when you feel hunger yourself, empathy becomes real. Feeding others while fasting changes how you see people, because you don't just understand struggle intellectually, you feel it physically. From the outside, Ramadan may look like restriction, like limitation, like hardship. But from the inside, many Muslims experience freedom. Freedom from overconsumption, freedom from unhealthy habits, freedom from being controlled by constant desire. Ramadan clears space in the body, in the mind, and in the heart. So how do people survive a whole month without food or water during the day? Because it was never about surviving, it is about purpose. Ramadan is not meant to break people, it is meant to build them, to sharpen awareness, to strengthen discipline, and to reconnect people with what truly matters. And maybe the real question is not why Muslims fast, but what all of us could learn from slowing down, practicing self-control, and learning gratitude, even if only for 1 month. Because once you truly understand that, Ramadan no longer looks extreme. It looks meaningful, powerful, and deeply human. And perhaps the most fascinating part is this. Even if you are not Muslim, even if you never fast or pray, observing Ramadan can teach a universal lesson that discipline, empathy, gratitude, and reflection are not just religious practices. They are tools anyone can use to change the way they live, to see the world differently, to feel more connected to others, and to understand that true strength does not come from indulgence, but from restraint and awareness. Thank you for watching, and stay curious.